Well, welcome everybody to our weekly meeting. This meeting is sponsored by the Healthcare Support Association of America. And we do this in close cooperation with Engage Global. Most of the representatives that are on the screen with us and many of the individuals that are here are health advocates connected to Engage Global. Our objective here is not just to introduce particular specific products to guests or those who are interested, but is to promote wellness and to offer suggestions and information that might be of value, especially when making healthcare and wellness decisions. Nowadays, there is literally an ocean of information available. It's not actually an ocean, and they call it the information superhighway. The internet was called the information superhighway in its inception back in the days when everybody thought AOL was the internet. And it was called the information superhighways. Now it's more like the Autobahn on steroids. There is just so much information. You could put a word in, and in seconds, millions of responses will show up. You have to decide what's relevant. Right now, a search engine decides what's most important. And depending on how good the programmer is, the piece of information can land on the top 10 in search results. What do you do? How do you choose? What direction do you go in? Well, we spent some time as researchers identifying a lot of the most relevant sources of nutritional supplements, holistic remedies, and otherwise that can be of value. And we freely pass that on to anyone who would like to know. We highly recommend, though, that you seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust when making your health and wellness decisions. That being said, we wanted to kind of lay the foundation for this discussion today and have it more about what kind of results you have seen, because everybody's got a story. And sometimes it's a very small story. For example, I walk now. In fact, I've been encouraging all of you to walk and to exercise, because recent studies show that you can decrease your mortality by 70% just by walking 7,000 steps a day. Can you imagine that? A 70% increase in the chances of living a longer life just by walking 7,000 steps a day. So some kind of movement is critically important. They're saying now that sitting is the new smoking. So in fact, not exercising is worse than being an obese diabetic smoker. So any kind of movement that you can add to your life is to your benefit and increases the chance of living a healthier, longer life. Your lymphatic system is critically important and crucial to that, and exercise is a component to that. So let's hear your stories. And I know that you all have one, so don't think that any story is too small. Like I was about to tell you about my toe, my right toe, when I would walk. It doesn't hurt anymore. I'm excited to just be able to walk now and not feel any pain in my foot at all. So that's a wonderful thing. It's taken making sure that I take the right amount of antioxidants and micronutrients and other things, but it certainly is well worth it to get any kind of solution like that. So Catherine Robinson, you said you had a small story. Everybody else be thinking about your story. So we'd like to hear your story. Go ahead, Catherine.
Okay. I do. I just got it a few minutes ago. I remember a while back I told you about my daughter that had that major surgery, glioblastoma.
Hold on. We only heard a portion
Can you hear
of
me?
that.
Okay. So I just got a call. She went back to Miami and got the final follow-up because she had jaw removed. Okay.
Hang on.
My daughter
hold on,
had
Catherine.
major surgery to remove.
Hold on, Catherine. Let's just make sure everybody can hear you properly.
Okay.
Is it distorted to everybody else as it is to me? It is? Okay. So Catherine, let's do this. We may have
to I see myself twice.
Go ahead and stop your video, and then let's see if that improves it, okay? Stop your video.
Okay, let's see.
Turn your original sound on also.
I'm trying. Okay. You won't. I'm trying to stop it and it won't. You know how you tap on the top and the video won't stop.
How about that?
Okay, wait a minute. Let me try. Because I see myself twice.
Yeah, then that may be
part I see my image twice.
That may be part of the distortion. You may have to go out.
You cannot start your video because the host has disabled it.
Yeah.
It says the host has disabled it.
Okay, so now your video's off, so now you may be better now. Let's try it. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Can you hear? Okay, and I got the video off. It's not necessary, but you can hear me.
Yes, well, we can hear you. Go ahead.
It's been about a year, well, less than a year since she post-op. She had what they call a melioblastoma in her jaw. And that meant she had to have that removed, jaw removed, bone from her leg, nerve replacement, all of that. And when the first time I put her on it preoperatively, then even she stayed on it was the micronutrient hydro at first, and then she was on the EMF. So she went back, I'll go and make it short. She went back recently, and she said when they went back and tested her, and the only thing she was doing is microdaily and eating better, they were shocked. And she said, well, what's the matter? Because she had a little thing, and they said, what were you doing? Because they said she had 80% nerve function back in the area because she had the nerves replaced. That was rare for that amount of time because they said they normally get 50% and less. Usually they're not walking, nothing, everything has healed inside of mouth, outside of mouth, the nerves and everything, because she had a nerve transplant. She said they actually called in every one of them, everybody that worked on her. And they asked her, what were you doing? She said she had the microdaily with her because she figured they were going to ask. And they were amazed. She said the doctor took the information. He said, with this surgery, we've done it. She's part of a support group with people that have that. And out of that, she said she's the only one walking without a boot. She was able to go back to work. She said she has no pain. And when I say go back to work, she's a nurse and she travels out of state. And she said they made her do a testimonial telling her everything that she did, and she said, this is it. She even eats, most of them are not able to use their jaw as much. It takes a while. And she said they said, whatever you're doing, you better just keep it up. They couldn't believe it. They said they actually were amazed, all the doctors. And they made her actually, they videoed her, telling them about her situation and what they had to say. And I said, well, what did they say? Are they going to get it or recommend it? He just said, give us that information.
Oh, no, that won't happen. Yeah.
With the support group.
Wow. Well, that's pretty impressive.
Now it was major what she had.
You called it, as you said, was a melioblastoma?
Yes, a melioblastoma.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that, but that was worth fighting through. You were still a little bit distorted, so we're going to hear that story again at some point. But it sounds pretty amazing. So the problem was primarily in her foot?
Mm-hmm. No, so it was in her jaw. She had all of this
and a nerve, but they took a bone.
It was in her jaw. It was like some sort of a tooth. It's some sort of, and the nerve. They took bone out, nerve out. All of this had to be reconstructed. They had to take a bone out of her leg.
They took a bone out of her leg and replaced it here. That's amazing. That's incredible. Okay. Well, that's a pretty remarkable
and her
story.
jaw.
So it'd be interesting to hear. It'll be interesting to determine exactly how that happened and what was going on with that. But that's just kind of amazing, and just shows you the power of putting the right nutrients in the body. So the long and the short of it is she had this problem here with the nerve and bone. in her face. They did reconstruction, took a bone out of her foot and replaced it here. And there was
Leg.
80% out of her leg, 80% nerve regeneration, where they usually only get between 50% or less nerve regeneration.
Right.
She had 80% regeneration. Wow.
Right.
That's pretty impressive.
And that's what she said. The doctor was amazed. He said, "You don't mind, I got to get," she said she was, every doctor. She said, I think about 5 doctors. They looked everywhere, they checked everything. So that's amazing to me, because there's a lot more to the story. It was very extensive. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. That's pretty impressive. Okay, who else has a story? Who else has a story? Who'd like to share your story? No, there's no such thing as a small story now. So just whatever results that you've had with Micro Daily, we'd like to have that, especially for the fact that there's new people that are with us. So don't think that just because you've told your story before that you don't need to share it now. Okay, James Peters, please go ahead.
Well, I've been taking this new Methylated. I'm supposed to take it with my hydro and I had none. I ran out, but I've been taking it 2 before I get started in the morning, and it kind of happened. My health not as sore as it used to be, so that's good.
That's very good. That's very good. Less pain is always a good thing. Thank you very much, James, for sharing that story. Adding the methylated to the hydro that he's been taking, and he's got an additional improvement. Wonderful. Thank you. I know Lula Jesta has a story, so I'm going to call you out, Lula. We want to have you relate your story again. Her story goes back quite a number of years. She was one of the earliest customers that we introduced. In fact, Dolores introduced Micro Daily to Lula Jester, and Lula, I'm going to put you on the spot, okay, and just ask you to kind of relate what kind of results was happening. I think you went from your husband not being able to do a whole lot. Next thing you know, he's outside in the yard cutting trees and doing all kinds of things. So please go ahead, bring us up to date.
And what you said is so true. He was dealing with a lot of health conditions, and basically it was as if he was actually going down. So what happened? No energy, sleeping all day, not doing anything. So Dolores introduced us to the Micro Daily. And so at first he didn't want to comply and try it. So with persistence, eventually after a couple of months, he was feeling so bad, he said he was ready to try anything besides going on a regular basis and taking all of the medicine that the doctors were giving him. And so truly, as he was taking them and time went on, at first I didn't put it together what was going on, because he was mowing the lawn, painting, repairing, and it just dawned on me. I said, what's going on? And he hollered out, it's the Micro Daily himself. And I said, wow. It impressed me so much myself, because his results was so much more powerful. Mine was subtle, but I did see results as well myself. But it was just so amazing, the energy when he would fall down, and he could take the Micro Daily at night and just go off soundly to sleep and wake up refreshed in the morning. So fast forward to now, he's still doing excellent. He's not going to be without it, and takes it every day. And he's doing so much better. And off of some of the medicines, actually the doctors took him off of some of those medicines because they want to know what was he doing. And so once he explained to them about the micronutrients and how well they were, so he's prancing around doing good, and he's gone now to help a neighbor put a mailbox up across the street. So what can I say?
That's excellent. He shared his story one time too. Was it, I don't remember if it was diabetes or high blood pressure or.
Yes. As a matter of fact, diabetes, high blood pressure, and the doctors are saying that whatever, that's what I meant when I said, they said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it because it is looking very good. As a matter of fact, he was able to actually get off of the metformin and for the cholesterol. And then they took him off of some of the high blood pressure medicine because the numbers were very astounding that he didn't need to, to be on all those duplicates, blood pressure and water pills and stuff like that. So he's down to just one, and he's doing well.
That's wonderful. That's when I know he must be relieved to see improvement because, as we get older, things are not supposed to get better. You're not supposed to go from having to have a tray full of medicines down to just maybe one or two. It's not supposed to go that way. Normally, once you start down the road of medications, you need more medications to deal with the side effects of those medications. That's normally the way it works.
And that's exactly right. As a matter of fact, during those days when he was just going down and feeling so bad, the VA, every time they would, whatever he wanted, they would just say, okay, well, you need to get the walking chair. And so I looked around in the house and we had 3 of those chairs in the house. How many do he use? None. So I got extra furniture just sent to the side.
So you can put that on eBay or Craigslist, right?
Thank you for the tip.
Okay. Yeah. I'll be looking out for my commission on that.
Sure.
Thank you very much, Lula, for sharing your story and your husband's story. Those kinds of results are just outstanding. But it's not a rare thing. We no longer get surprised when we hear this level of story. Daphne Miller was surprised. I know you're not waving your hand here, Daphne, but I'm gonna call you out. She came to, in fact, one of these meetings just like this, and the last thing she expected was actually get results. In fact, in her own words, she expected that this was all just more blah, blah, blah. So anyway, go ahead, Daphne, please share with us your story and tell us what the current status is. Yeah, I know that was blah, 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 because you said it. I remember it and I will never forget it. I'm gonna go find it one time on the video.
I did say it. Yeah, I did. I really did. I speed my story up because I did have something else to say as well. Another experience, but I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I had chemo, surgery, radiation. I had a doctor that I had did research on, and he was number 2 in his field in this 50 states of Georgia. So I felt like I found a pretty good team. I really did. He did very well. He's very arrogant, but I like him. I like people who know what they're talking about and straightforward. It don't bother me that they're arrogant. But in the process, I got a lot of nerve damage. I had a lot of side residual issues from the aggressiveness of the treatment. Joker Scenes been knowing me a long time. They know my situation, and they were sending me these green pills, and I told them I was not gonna take no green pills. I don't take a lot of medication anyway. Even with the pain medication, I wasn't taking it, but they told me I need to stop because all I was doing was sending my body into a cycle, and once I get in that pain mode, I won't come out. So, but still, sometimes I took the medication, sometimes I didn't. But the Joker Scene sent me these green pills, and one day they sent me a link to what we're on now. When I came to this link, everybody's story, I heard my story in that link of they start feeling better, the neuropathy, the pain, everything. So I said, okay, let me try the pills. Let me try the pills. I tried them, and right away, I had relief. I was surprised because I am not a pill taker. And right away, having relief, it surprised me. I also had hallucination. Matter of fact, I've been having hallucination again recently. So I'm gonna have to check that out. But the hallucination has stopped. But it could due to the fact that, you can't stop taking the micro daily because you start feeling good and you go back and you realize, hey, you got to continue taking.
It calls your name. Every time that any one of us has decided to stop, it start calling our name. We just hear it across the room there from that bottle.
Exactly. But he's absolutely right. And from then on, and right away, I didn't get a subscription. I became a health advocate because the fact that it did what it did for me right away, and I was in pain. My pain, I had pain every day. I started taking micro daily in April of 2021? Yeah, it was this year, right?
Uh-huh.
Feel like I've been on it a while because I could walk. I was on a cane. I had a walker. You'll be surprised. A lot of people look at me now and they don't even think I was at that point, but I was.
Wow.
But I was the type of person to keep moving. But I don't walk with a walker. I can walk straight up. I don't know what it did, but I can walk straight up. My nerves is still there, but they're not as bad as it used to be. Yeah. I mean, I shake so badly, but now I'm shaking in the inside. I used to shake in the inside and the outside, but hopefully eventually that'll leave if I keep doing what I'm doing. I need to also incorporate some walking, like you stated. But I was not a believer, but once it happened to me, I became a believer and I started taking it and I started telling everybody about it. So much so, I buy so much product that I give it away. And now what's going on, people are coming back since I don't have the money to give it away anymore. Now people are coming to me saying, hey, I need to get some product. You need to go on subscription, man.
Very good, very good. So you've got customers now coming back, knocking on your door, and they're becoming preferred customers. That's wonderful.
Yeah, but I do have a question. I have two people in different spans of time. The micro daily was doing real well with them. They feel better. They had joint pain. The joint pain left. I did encourage them to take it to their doctor and share it with them. And the doctor told them to stop taking. One did what the doctor said. And the other one I just went to yesterday, she's a cancer survivor as well. And she has another blood disorder. She might be on now, I don't know. But the doctor told her to stop taking it, but she said she's not going to listen to him. One listening and one not. But I'm having a lot of people, what I hear lately, the doctor telling them not to take it. And I'm not used to that, especially if it's doing good for you.
Right. It doesn't surprise me, to be honest with you. I was giving a lecture to a group of doctors once, and after the meeting was over with, one of the doctors came up to me and said, this goes back about 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. He says, tell me something. Why should I give my patients a product that I can make $250 on when I can put them in the system and make $250,000 on it? He said, why would I do that? And if I could have, anyway, it made me sick to my stomach. And it was just an awful feeling because I couldn't believe that a medical professional would actually say that. And I've had clients myself, a woman who was like my own mother. And I viewed her that way because she helped my mother out years ago. And I remember her as a little boy. And I gave her some of the micro daily hydro. And she sent me text messages, screaming, so excited that her blood pressure was finally starting to respond because none of the medication was having an effect on it. So she took it to her doctor, and doctor said, stop taking it. I went to her house and she handed me the bags right back. Even though she had had such phenomenal results, she would only do what her doctor said. Now she's on dialysis and just miserable. And there's not one single thing that I can say. And I won't say it. I won't tell her to go against what her doctor says. So I'm very careful about that. I think it's a shame personally, because how can a nutrient be bad? What's in Micro Daily is the food that's missing from our food. Make no mistake about it, folks. What we're eating today is not what our grandparents had, years ago. The food that we're getting today does not have the nutritional value that it had 100 years ago. Thank you very much, Daphne, for sharing your story. It doesn't have the same quality that it had. It's taken a brilliant scientist like Dr. Prasad to put together a collection of the highest quality of nutrients in very small package to make it the most absorbable possible, so that when we swallow these 2 capsules, the one that my favorite will now is absolutely this one. It's the methylated form of the product. It says it on the label now, methylated. I don't know if it's coming through fuzzy, but the purple bottle is the way to go. So I highly recommend it. If you're on the red bottle, you've already got all the benefits of this. Just make sure you're taking the right amount of the red bottle. Remember, 3 capsules in the red bottle, the EMF bottle, equals 2 capsules of this. That's a minimum of 3 capsules to match up with 2. Once we start getting some miles on us, as we start to age, we need more. Don't think that what would help a 20 or 30-year-old that has a mild issue is going to be good enough for someone who's almost 60 or older. It's not going to be the same. We need more. So I make sure that I take 4 capsules in the morning and 4 capsules in the evening. And sometimes I break it up. I'll do 2 before I go walking and 2 after I finish walking, and then 4 later in the day. But that's what it takes for me out of this bottle. So I go through 2 bottles every month. And with that, my pains are gone. My mental clarity is much better than it ever was. And there's been a definite improvement since I switched to the methylated formula. But we'll get back to the story a little bit more about the how and the why Micro Daily does what it does. Let's get Dolores to share her story. Hey, Dolores, welcome.
Hey, Jonathan, thank you. Well, my story is a family story. Every family member, well, all my kids, all my children take Micro Daily. Not like I would like for all of them to.
Right.
But let me just say, my husband, I was listening to Daphne, listening to Lula also. My husband, his doctors are not the ones that recommend that you take micronutrients either. They think you're wasting your money. So he has high blood pressure, and the doctors wanted to have him on about 5 different types of high blood pressure medicine, but he refused to take them. He got a prescription, but we increased his Micro Daily. He takes the Micro Daily on a regular basis. So now he's at the point, but his readings are so low until he's having to cut the two medicine that he does take. He's having to cut them in half. And more than likely, it's going to have to go lower than that because his pressure is, sometimes his pressure is so low until I have to call the doctor to make sure, but he doesn't have any symptoms, with those low readings. He's doing excellent. He still gets around real well. He's active just like Lula's husband is. I have to call him out of the yard sometimes. But my family, the children, I have one daughter, and I think she might be on the call now.
Before you go to your daughter, what's the range of blood pressure that your husband's having? What's his numbers?
Oh, now this morning it was like 117 over 70, I believe.
117 over 70. Now, he's not a young man now, is he?
No, he's not. He's not a young man. He passed me, and I'm not young.
Oh my goodness. So he's a senior of seniors, but
right.
you just called out a blood pressure that's typical among 20-year-olds.
Right. Well, that's what, it's been lower than that. Yeah, right. So he started taking half of his the milligram that they're giving him in the 2 medicine, but they wanted him. He have 3 other ones that they wanted him to take, but he's not taking them.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Go ahead with your daughter.
Now my daughter, I have one daughter that religiously takes microdaily. She has a large family. Basically, everybody in her family is taking microdaily, including her grandbabies. They haven't gotten on the gummies yet. They love the hydro. These little boys they are 3 years old and they fight over microdaily. They want their hydro, but it's doing excellent for all of them. She takes it on a regular basis. Her husband takes it on a regular basis, and the grandkids, and she got a couple of other children that's taking it as well. But they are a family. Whenever one of them start to sneeze, he'll tell the other one, go get my vitamins. So they know that they need to take their microdaily. So we're a family that's getting good results, all of us. And I don't have any health issues that I know of, but just aging. But microdaily has really worked well, for me, as far as being able to maintain and stay out of the doctor's office.
That's wonderful. And sometimes it's hard to believe. We're getting less and less shocked as we hear these stories. Because again, we've known each other now for many years, probably more than 10 years or more. And instead of—
No, it's been about 20, Jonathan.
It's been about 20 years. Okay, well, so it hasn't worked on my memory yet. So I gotta get on the brain boost. So we're going back decades now. And instead of getting worse, because by now you would think we'd be having all kinds of health problems. But it's kind of flatlined. The health issues has stabilized. If there are health issues, they're minor in comparison to so many others. And I hate to say it, but it's, we're all dealing with loss of family members and friends. And but so many of my peers, I'm just sad to say that we're just losing them. They're just dropping dead. And just in the past year or two, some of my closest friends they just died. Their hearts just stopped. So that's starting to happen. So, and we're in that age group where that will begin to happen more and more. So microdaily certainly has made a significant difference in slowing down the ravages of aging. Nothing is going to make persons, live forever. Not anything man discovered, but certainly what we can do is at least improve the quality of our life by making wise choices. Well, thank you very much, Dolores, for updating us on your story. And I know there's a whole lot more to it, and you're leaving a little room for somebody else, and that's very kind of you. But we'll get some more of your stories down the road. So Winifred, thank you again. Winifred has a comment or question. Please go ahead, Winifred.
Questions on because I'm taking a green one. So I'm wondering whether I'm taking the correct dosage. I'm taking 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon when I remember to take it. Sometimes I skip, but 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening. So what do you recommend?
Are you do you have any particular health issues that you're trying to
Okay, yeah.
I do have diabetes. It's controlled though. Also a little bit of high blood pressure. So
okay, so you're dealing with diabetes and high blood pressure. I could probably open up for comments and get some comments from those who are have had the same kind of issues. But I will tell you this, for a diabetic and with 2 particular chronic issues, are you over 50 or under 50?
I'm 67.
Okay, so we'll put that as over 50. So if you're over 50 and you have two chronic health problems, that puts you in a category where you need a little bit more. See, the doses that you're taking right now is what a healthy 20 or 30-year-old should be taking just to break even.
Okay.
So I'm going to suggest to you that you, number one, switch over to the methylated form. Keep taking it, but add an additional bottle of the methylated, okay? And just mix them up until you run out of the green bottle. This is only $10 more, so it's not that much difference. But what this will do is it has the B12 and the folic acid and folate that your body can absorb better. So you're going to get better results. B12 is critical to our entire central nervous system and critical to hundreds of other things. Same with folic acid. So making that switch will be one thing. The second thing is, if you can do it, take 3 capsules with every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Capsule of, okay, let me have full confession. I think I have 2 or 3 boxes because I haven't really been taking it regularly, but I decided I'm going to start doing it. So I have several boxes of this still here.
Good.
The first thing is when it came, I didn't start taking it right away. And I think I have 2 boxes that were delivered before I actually started taking it. After I went to my doctor, and the doctor told me they were vegetable pills, so they won't hurt me.
Yeah.
You know, so then I started taking it. So I do have several boxes, and that's why I'm wondering.
Your amount. Increase the amount. Go to 3 capsules 3 times a day.
Okay.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you could take it just before you eat or just after you eat, either way. And the reason why a meal is important is because some of the minerals and some of the vitamins are water soluble. And that's why when some people, you take the hydro, you see that there's something floating around in the bottom of the bottle when you take hydro, because those are components that are oil soluble. They won't break down in water. They won't break down until they get inside your body. So whatever's in that bottle, if you're drinking hydro, make sure you get it all. You don't want to leave anything behind. Shake it up until you get it all out of there. Put some more water behind it and chase it down if you need to. So, but anyway, what I'm saying to you, Winifred, is you could take it with a meal is better because you need some fat in your stomach to break down those other minerals. So
If I don't eat and I take it, I feel it. I feel sick. So I know to eat before taking it.
Yeah. Right. So maybe take it right after you eat is better. Okay. So bump that up to 3 capsules 3 times a day. And as your sugar levels start to normalize and start to get better, you may be able to cut out that middle one, that middle dose, that lunch dose. Okay. You may just be able to take twice a day once you start to normalize. Okay.
Since I have a regular delivery that is automatic, I'm figuring how to do it so that I will stop receiving this and start getting the hydro. Because like I said, I have several boxes of these around, which I'm going to take now according to your recommendation. But I don't want to stop the order.
No, don't stop it. Just change it to the purple bottle. Okay. Yeah, just call them up and tell them you want, instead of them sending you the original formula, tell them to send you the methylated formula until you catch up.
Okay, what's the difference between the methylated and the hydro?
The hydro is little packets that you mix in water. The hydro, you would take a little powder packet and mix it in a bottle of water. That's different. This is the one here. That's the methylated form. This is the better one. This is the more advanced formula. So you want to go to this one.
So I'm going to call them. Okay.
Okay. And you're going to come back and give us an update, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We look forward to it. Thank you very much for asking your question.
You're welcome. And thank you for the explanation.
Certainly. Okay. Jared Burden has a question or a comment. At least it says Jared Burden. Let's get you to unmute, Jared.
Unmute.
There we go.
All right, can you hear me? All right.
Yes.
Hi, Jonathan. Alfreda brought me into Micro Daily probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years now. And we stay in touch a lot. But my question is, a couple months ago, me and my wife had a son that was born with an issue with his kidney. So I sent her over the diagnostic, and I think she sent it over to you.
Possibly, yes.
So we finally just got some of the hydro packets, and I'm not saying scared, but I just haven't started maybe putting some of it in its formula. But I guess I wanted to have a little bit of feedback of where, like right now, like I was telling Alfreda, I don't like the fact that we're medicating him at a young age. He's 2 months old, and we're having to give him like an antibiotic once a day, which is one of those shake it up. It's last 2 weeks, and then we give it to him at night for one of his last bottles or whatnot. But what do you think as far as like adding that into his bottle or?
Yes.
How do I
Yes.
say it, you know?
Yeah, I'll give you the long and the short of that. And I'm going to ask some of the ones that are on the line now to share their stories with either their children or their grandchildren that are infants, and they can comment on the results that they've seen with infants, taking in their body. You just heard Dolores Levat. She just shared stories about her grandchildren. They're 3 years old, and they're loving it. They fight over it. So kids, love the hydro. But before we get them to share their story, how much do you know about antibiotics?
Not too much.
Okay. The goal of an antibiotic, the objective of an antibiotic is to take and bring under control a bacteria in the body that is negative, something that's not doing its job properly. And so an antibiotic is designed to kill off a particular bacterial strain that's elevated. We are actually probably 90% bacteria and only 10% human. Most of what makes up a human body is more bacteria than human, believe it or not. There's trillions of bacterial cells all over our bodies, from the brain all the way down to your toenails. And we're mostly bacteria, but the most of the bacteria is in the gut biome. So it scares me and makes me nervous. I don't question any doctors. So let me just make that real clear. And I tell anybody this, when you come on this program here, by law, I'm going to say to people, what I'm sharing is for educational purposes only. And I say, just make your own mind up, do whatever you want to do, but I'm passing on just basic, information. I'm getting a warning here that my internet is unstable, so I'm not sure if you all can still hear me clearly or not. Still okay?
Yes, but you're wavy.
Okay.
But we can hear you clear now.
Okay. So I won't say that your doctor is wrong, because he's probably got a very good reason for it. But as a parent, what you have to do is make sure that good bacteria of some kind, components are going into your child's stomach that's designed to improve his gut biome. Now, did the doctor tell you to give the child any probiotics or any prebiotics to help with that?
Did he what?
Did your doctor tell you to give your child any probiotics or prebiotics?
Besides the fact that he has the vitamin D drops that he takes, that's the only thing. And that was before the whole they did the dye, they had him into a dye to see, like, as far as the issue is if it's in his kidney or whatnot. And then that was where it was told after the fact that we give him this till he is ready for surgery, maybe 1 year old, or if not a little longer. But like I said, it's just with the antibiotics, it's just like I'm someone that doesn't really. I've probably taken about 10 ibuprofens in my life,
Right.
and I'm 37 years old, so I'm not a person that really is in keen with being medicated like
Right.
that with pills and stuff like that, you know. So for my son, my only son, I'm like, hey, he's 2 months into this world, and we're already, you know, putting something. I just don't know. I don't like the
Scary.
fact that it's not a net. You know, yeah, it's just it's uneasy to me about
Yeah.
doing this on a daily basis to him, and that's like the normal. You know.
It's completely understandable. Is he are you all breastfeeding him?
So yeah, so it's she pumps, but she'll do right now it's been a little less breast milk, so we've been being able to do like half Similac, half breast milk, as the milk is not as flowing as it was.
Okay. Okay. But the breast milk is an important part of helping his gut biome normalize also. Was he a natural birth?
No, he was C-section.
Okay, and there's part of the problem right there is all that extra bacteria that would normally happen when the child is being born naturally, that also works against him. So he doesn't have a lot of mom's bacteria helping his body. So micro daily would be a good thing, but highly recommend colostrum. Highly recommend get some bovine colostrum into his body. This is all natural stuff now, so don't think that this is anything that's weird. A human baby is born with 50% of his immune system code. 50%. A human baby can survive without mom's breast milk if it had to, but a cow is born with no immune system programming code whatsoever. So 100% of the immune system programming code comes from the colostrum from the mother cow. So if you can get that colostrum and your child can consume that, not only is it helping to reinforce his immune system, but it's doing some amazing things for his gut biome, amazing things for his gut biome, while the doctors have him on the antibiotic. So if there's a kidney issue going on, and there's nothing you can do about that, you got to just trust what the doctors are trying to do in that area. And but you know, add a little bit of colostrum to his formula, and a little bit of the hydro. Add that to his food, also to his bottle. A little bit of colostrum, a little bit of hydro, and those are just vitamins and just nutrients that will help his gut biome to deal with the antibiotic that's killing off a lot of things in his body. So, and most are finding it that it's completely safe. Dolores, you've had your grandchildren, grandbabies that have been taking micro daily. Did you say?
Yes, I have one great grand, and we started giving to her, I think before she was 1, and she'll soon be 3, but she loves it. I mean, and she doesn't have colds. She doesn't have, she doesn't get sick. Her mother breastfeeds her as well. But she's been taking the hydro. Now she's on the gummies. But before she was 1, she was taking the hydro.
Okay, so there's one story. Lula, Jess, you had another one?
I don't have a story, but I'm listening to Mr. Burden, and he has a good concern about his baby, because my granddaughter, she's on the micro daily, and sometimes they have to take the antibiotic, but we always come behind with something to offset the damage that's done by antibiotic. Because you think about a forest, you think about the Amazon, where the rainforest, you think about the place, and then if it gets burned down, then it takes a while before it sets back up again and grow and prosper. So that's what happens when antibiotics get into your system. They just take all the good stuff away, and it has to grow back again. So by treating it with which is what we do. We double the doses of the micro daily, and along with the probiotic, to make sure we can put the good stuff back into the gut, because the damage behind the antibiotic is so powerful that we need to restore the good flora back in there again. So Jonathan gave some very good suggestions to you to use.
Okay.
They would be very, very great for you.
The colostrum, where would I get that?
You can get one colostrum, the best one that we found. You can find it on amerixbio.com. Alfreda can guide you on that. It's a bovine colostrum, comes in a little small bottle. All you're gonna need is just small amounts of it. Just add it to his food.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
You're quite welcome, and please make sure that you keep us posted. We look forward to hearing the outcome. All right, and the results, because we know the results are going to be good. So if you follow through, we know you're going to get good results, and we're excited. Congratulations for your son, and we're happy for you and your wife. Okay, so let's kind of wrap it up. Why is everybody having all of these good results? What's going on that folks can be claiming that amazing things are happening in their lives when it comes to just a simple, what some people call multivitamin? Well, just remember, microdaily is not just a multivitamin. Microdaily is a micronutrient. And as I mentioned before, the formulator is Dr. Kedar Prasad, brilliant scientist. He was a Nobel Peace Prize on the Nobel Peace Prize nominating committee. He's been published in peer-reviewed medical journals more than 250 times, and he's authored more than 31 books. So all on the benefits of micronutrients and their value in various roles or health issues, heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and the list just goes on and on and on. We interviewed him last week, and he explained to us in great detail the reasons, what his rationale was behind writing the book of fighting heart disease with antioxidants. He mentioned to us last week that it's a known scientific fact that a single antioxidant not only is not good when dealing with heart disease, a single antioxidant can actually be bad when it comes to fighting heart disease, because an antioxidant in the body just all by itself can in itself become a free radical. It may do some good momentarily, but then it becomes a free radical all by itself. So he said, but using multiple antioxidants, including the one that builds glutathione, the body's master antioxidant, that makes a huge difference. See, because here's what happens. A vitamin C molecule, a pycnogenol molecule, or all those other antioxidants that go out there, they grab a hold of a free radical and neutralize it. They come along and they find a glutathione molecule. The glutathione takes that free radical away and sacrifices itself and restores, recharges that antioxidant, so it can now go back and find another free radical. So that's the hand in glove mechanism that works with glutathione and other antioxidants. That's why you have to have an army of antioxidants in the body to get rid of free radicals. And before you say and minimize the benefits of getting free radicals out of your body, every disease is precipitated by a free radical. Everything, no matter what's wrong with our body, because free radicals is trying to steal electrons from your cells. If it can steal an electron from your cells, then that cell now becomes damaged. That cell becomes weaker. And if it can do that enough to enough cells, then those cells that are associated with tissue now make that organ weaker. So free radicals is doing damage to the body. The easiest way to visualize free radical damage is if you take an apple and cut it open and expose it to the air, what starts to happen to it? It starts to turn brown, right? That's free radical damage or oxidative stress. Free radical damage, oxidative stress, same thing. When it starts to turn brown, that's cell damage. Eventually, that apple exposed to the air like that will have so much free radical damage that it will just it'll just become rotten. Imagine that happening on the inside of your body. That's not a good thing. That's called disease. So having antioxidants in place stops that free radical damage from taking place inside your body. And you don't want that to happen on even one or two of your cells. You want your body to be able to rejuvenate itself. And antioxidants, micronutrients is the best way to do that. So MicroDaily is a very inexpensive, affordable supplement that we can add to our diet. It does some powerful things for very little cost. And what it would normally take hundreds and hundreds of dollars of supplements to do is now being able to be done and with a very minimal cost from just one supplement added to our diet. Okay, so those are the benefits and the reasons for it. In fact, what we'd like to encourage you to do is just get back with the person who invited you to this call, and they'll help you to set up your own personal subscription to Engage Global to get your own discounted subscription of the MicroDaily vitamins, micronutrients. Okay. All right. Very good. So thank you very much, folks, for joining us. And for the record, once again, my name is Jonathan Jones. It's been my privilege and pleasure to have been your host and moderator for this afternoon. We will not have a meeting next Sunday because it's a holiday weekend, and we know that a lot of folks are going to be spending time with their family. So we won't have a meeting next weekend, but the first weekend of December, we're going to invite Dr. Prasad to be back with us. So we want you to make sure that you build up a nice big guest list. Go down your list of every single person, human being on the planet that you know that needs to hear. We'll be interviewing Dr. Prasad. Either we'll be following up on our discussion with him. Well, actually, you know what? We're going to be focusing a little bit probably on cancer, because he's written his book on cancer. And we'd like to hear what his research has led to. And there's maybe another doctor or two that we may be able to invite to be in on our discussion that's had some very, very good results with MicroDaily as they use it in their practice. So I'm not sure, but just keep an eye out. If you are not part of the WhatsApp chat group so that you can be notified exactly what our topics will be and when we're having our topics, make sure that you get added to the WhatsApp chat. Now, your question may be, well, how do I get in the WhatsApp chat, right? If you're not in there, send me a text message, and then I can add you to my contact list, and then I'll send you an invitation to that. You can send a text message to 754-300-8909. 754-300-8909. If you want to hear the interview of Dr. Prasad from last week where he discussed heart disease and micronutrients, just go to my YouTube channel. The recording is there. youtube.com/Jonathan Jones. youtube.com/Jonathan Jones. And Jonathan is JONATHAN. No spaces, no delimiters. Jonathan Jones. youtube.com/Jonathan Jones. And subscribe to the channel, and you'll always be notified when new recordings are made available there. If you know someone that could have benefited from this discussion, hearing your testimonials, this recording will be available on youtube.com/Jonathan Jones by this evening. As soon as it finishes processing, I'll just upload it there. And once again, this information is for educational and informational purposes only, with some entertainment value. I don't recommend that you do anything I say. I'm not a medical doctor, nor do I ascribe to be one. I strongly recommend that you seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust. Don't make your decisions based off something that you hear from anyone that is not a trusted, known medical source. The information that I pass on to you and the stories, the testimonies that you heard here are all anecdotal. What happened to someone else may or may not happen to you. If you'd like to have any other source material, any other references that we make reference to, just send an email to jonathan@hcsAAA.com. jonathan@hcsAAA.com. The website is hcsAAA.com. You can always go there also to fill out the contact form if you have additional questions or need clarification on anything, or if you would like to have a suggested nutrition protocol. We'd be happy to do that. The website is hcsAAA.com. Okay, thank you very much again, folks, for joining us. And once again, for the record, it's been my pleasure and privilege to be your host and moderator for the afternoon. For those of you
Thank
who are
you,
interested,
Jonathan.
thank you, quite welcome. For those of you who are interested in the business,
Thank
you want to stick around for a few minutes. We're going to have a business meeting that will last 9 minutes and 49 seconds today. Okay, so for those who are interested, we're going to have
Bye.
a 9
Thank
minute
you.
and 49-second business meeting today. Okay, so stick around for a few minutes for that. Bye bye, everybody else.